And look who's stripped down here. Simply one of the most capable race cars in the world. The Ford Raptor T1 Plus, which competes in the W2RC, the World Rally Raid Championship, the endurance rally raid, right? In which the Dakar is the most well-known event. For several years, it took place here in South America, but it changed locations a few years ago and went back to Saudi Arabia, or rather, it went to Saudi Arabia. Now, the South American stage of the W2RC, the Desafio Ruta 40, is the main endurance rally that takes place on our continent. And look how cool this is. We're getting exclusive access to the Ford racing team, which is run by M Sport, right? That British team famous for running Ford's programs in the WRC. And they also do it in the W2RC. And we're not only going to show you this beast in more detail, which is driven by legends like Carlos Sainz Sr. and Matthias Ekstrom. We're not just going to show it, but look, we're also going to ride along as passengers. So buckle up, put on your helmet because we've got a lot of adrenaline to bring you. Take a look at the size of this Fox Racing suspension travel. That's crazy, Rogerinho. Before the car is fully covered, let's take the opportunity to check it out like this, more stripped down. You can see it's a true thoroughbred competition car, right? Tubular chassis, but all the structural parts here, the survival cell, everything is made of carbon. We've already talked about the suspension, right? It's got a brutal travel and the tires are 37 inches. And the suspension architecture, right? It's not just the fact that we have the Fox shock absorber with the travel, but also the double wishbone suspension, right? Double A formula style suspension, let's call it that. Brake ducts here also made of carbon and a big central V8 engine, also like in a formula car, we could say. But it's very interesting the approach that Ford took, right? The 5.0 naturally aspirated V8, so there's no turbo, right? Fewer parts to brake, fewer things to suffer from temperature stress. And I even suspect, what's the horsepower? The V8 Coyote there has applications that easily go over 500 horsepower, right? I don't even know if you need that much because what's the big deal, right? Since it's a car made for long distances, it's already a lightweight car made of carbon fiber. The most important thing is reliability and drivability, right? Because the drivers say that's something really cool about naturally aspirated engines too, right? You don't have variations in power delivery because of turbo lag, for example. So the engine works just a little below the rev limit, of course, with an open exhaust. It's by far the most beautiful sound in the WRC, but it ends up being a bulletproof engine. It's very hard to brake because it runs below the maximum limit, right? Precisely to have unbeatable durability. Look at this wonderful scenery. Look at this amazing machine. Ford Raptor plus 6. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the moment when the child cries and the mother doesn't see. Let's speed up as a passenger in the big V8 here with Don Carlos Sainz, El Matador. It's 1 degree, that's why we're wearing hats, beanies. We're at the quarry here. It took an hour by car from San Juan to get here. And I'll tell you, Carlos Sainz is here bringing guests, but don't be fooled. A situation like this, for a world championship team, considering Dakar and everything else, it's a test, right? They warned us, hey, he's going to speed up since we're testing something in the car. So let's do this. Put on your helmet, fasten your seatbelt, and come with me because I'm sure this experience will be unforgettable and you'll get to feel a little bit of the adrenaline that we're going to feel next to the man here. Let's go. And now is the moment when the child cries and the mother doesn't see. We're here with Don Carlos Sainz. Good morning, Don Carlos. Ready, let's go. He took off burning rubber here. It's very hot. It's very hot. It feels like a washing machine. There's no other way to describe it. Thank you very much. Incredible. For him, that's just cold Tuesday. Wow. While I'm still getting my thoughts organized in my head, the suspension is very impressive. The brakes are very impressive, very impressive. It's right in the middle of a quarry. The thing turned into a washing machine, and you can see that he's able to accelerate and pull. They actually use these rides with the guys as a test, right? They're testing things with the car here, with the suspension. Look at the capability. Obviously, it's a fast car. The engine sound is beautiful. But what really impresses you is how this suspension here just eats up everything and keeps going. The guy is flooring it over there. He's not even, I'm out of breath. I guarantee that. Carlos Sainz, he's a killer at 64 years old, didn't get out of breath at all because he really trusts the machine, right? He has total control of the machine. Bernaska just got out of the car now. What did you think? Crazy, right?
That's crazy. It's a privilege to ride with Carlos Sainz. First of all, it's an unbelievable experience. Riding with the guy, a legend. And something he said yesterday, how the car is balanced, center of gravity and all that, but we've already driven a UTV. It's impressive how the suspension on this thing works, with the terrain we're driving on being terrible. And it feels like you can go anywhere with this car and drive however you want and nothing will happen. That's what's most impressive.
And clearly there hasn't been much testing on this terrain here where the guys are. So the guys are, you can see he's not in the mood for much talking, right? He's like, put another guy in there because I want to go out again. They're testing things here. We became guinea pigs here, right?
For sure. Here it's definitely, they need seat time to develop more things in the car. To win the Dakar, because they're going to win the Dakar for sure soon. They're taking the opportunity to develop. The roar of the V8 is wonderful, but what's impressive isn't the acceleration, it's the suspension. And the brakes, how it gets into the corners so fast. Brakes, you know, if needed, it's handbrake and everything, and gear, gear, gear. Unbelievable, what a toy.
Yeah, that's another thing I didn't mention. The brakes and consequently the grip the tire has on this rough terrain, right? Impressive.
Yeah, one thing I was talking about in the video I made is this. How the suspension works and how the tire can take a beating, right? It's rocks, gravel, sand, whatever's in front. The big tire just goes, no problem. Impressive.
Amazing. Let's have another barbecue since we haven't had much meat.
Mendocitas empanadas with meat and dulce de leche.
For breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Let's go. Do you want to know what it's like to watch a stage of the world's main long-distance rally championship, the WRC, in person? Come with me and I'll show you. A good way to start is to do like we did, camp out in the middle of nowhere, because the WRC is made up of very long rallies that stretch over several days. Here we are in the middle of the desert, 150 kilometers from the starting point back in San Juan. The reward for coming here and waking up early is that the cars will pass right here, look, right in front of us. That was the calling card of the legend Carlos Sainz Sr. Carlos Sainz, a four-time Dakar champion, leads the Ford racing team competing with the Raptor T1 in the World Championship. The dream of everyone in the W2RC, of course, is to win the Dakar, considered the toughest rally in the world, which takes place every year in January in Saudi Arabia. This is the line, right? Normally, I wouldn't feel so comfortable being this close to the line. But in Argentina, we were Argentinians, right? And at the end of the day, the best part, everything at W2RC Argentina ends with barbecue and good wine.